Hey everyone, and welcome to one more episode around Unleash Your Inner Wild. And my name is Tanja Andersen. I'm the host of this amazing show together with amazing speaker that is called Candice Johnson. I hope you're saying your name correct, my friend. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
It's so good to be here.
It's so good to have you here, my love. So the topic we will talk about is embrace your soul blueprint. That is very interesting, as Candice will talk a little bit into. So first, why did I pick Candice? Candice I've known for, I think, 1 year now. Is that true, my friends? Yeah,
I,
1 year.
I think we're at about a year, yes.
Yeah, 1 year. Woo! 1 year anniversary. No, that word was a
Yeah.
little bit wrong for me.
But in Ascension time, it means we've known each other for 7 years. So like
Okay.
dog years. So
I love that. So I have get to know Candice in Experience Church, and she have really been a person that has been side by side with me with my ups and downturns for me to really connect with God. It was so uncomfortable for me to say the word God and who is God, and I was running away from myself. And Candice was really a person that always calling on me to be who I am with my belief in my trust myself and really trust the words I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with it. And that was a place for me. So Candace have always hold the space for me to be who I am and really talk from my heart with no judgment to myself. So that has really freed myself. And that is also connecting to the topic we will talk about. Very, very funny. Embrace your soul blueprints, really connect to your soul. And I was reaching out to Candace, say, Candace, what do you say to be on here? Because she is a person I really look up to. And she is so connected to her own body, so own spirituality, and who she is. So I'm so blessed to have her here and give her wisdom to you guys. So Candice, tell us a little bit, what are you working with in your business?
yeah. Well, everybody, hi. It's so good to meet and feel all of you. It feels amazing to be here. Tanya, thank you so much for having me here. Like, I love that we have all of the spaces connected. For those of you who don't know, I just want to give a little even more about our relationship. As Tanya and I have all these little sub communities that we're a part of, and they just kind of keep expanding. And it's really cool to talk the same language, speak the same language, go through similar breakthroughs and through similar like language barriers when it comes to spirituality and science and God and all the things. So I'm loving this vibe that we have going on, and we've had it for a while. So thank you so much for the honor to bring that to your people. It's juicy. It's juicy. So years ago, y'all, I realized that I had these incredible spiritual gifts. They were prophetic. I had dreams that ended up happening. I could sense things, know things about people that I couldn't understand. And then as soon as I would have that vision, I would watch it happen. Or I would just I would be gifted these visions that happen almost like dreams. Like we don't actually know where dreams come from almost. It's
Mm.
like, do we see them in our head? Do we see them in our brain? Do we see them in our body? What's going on? And that's what my visions were like. And I had no spiritual training. And then I was a nurse for 11 years. And when I began my nursing career, I worked with a lot of hospice patients, many, many hospice patients. I saw many, many people pass away. And there was this veil that I could read in the room. I started to see people that were passing away. I started realizing that I had a bigger role in the passing of a human being and seeing this energy that otherwise has never existed for me before. And over the years of learning to tap in and even honestly asking God before I even believed in God, I remember sitting on my bed and saying, like, God, before I even believed in God, literally just saying, why do I have all these gifts? What does all of this stuff matter? People aren't talking about this stuff. I don't know who to talk to. And eventually my first mentor found me and I found him, which is great. But I didn't know what all of this stuff was for. It wasn't conventional. It wasn't, quote, normal. It wasn't, or rather, it wasn't normal in the community that I was a part of. And it definitely wasn't normal to Catholicism, which is what I was at the time. And over the years, listening to what God had for my soul and learning how to form a language with my soul, I learned then to communicate what that next step is for me, what that next level is for me. And because I started to create that for myself, I, of course, said, well, I get to go teach this to the world. I get to remind the world what it's like to embrace their soul, what it feels like to embrace their body, their blueprint, so that all the stuff that normally gets in the way stops getting in the way, or you get out of it quicker. So that's what I'm up to in the world.
Amen. Amen, sister. And that is also important. Maybe you think about that. So for me, a little bit like maybe some of you out there can have a little bit like resistance or a little bit like the word God. So I will invite you to choose what words you really feel called. So for me in the beginning, when cats learned me, I called Mother Earth because that was like so easy for me to say Mother Earth is my spiritual way to connect with nature, to connect with the wild animals. So I will invite you to really be present and be in it and see what is coming up to you when we talk about the word God. Some people can a little bit like the word. So make through this interview, so write some down some words that's coming up to you, or just be present. So when you write it down, you are present to what cancer is saying, because cancer have really some wisdom to share with you around how you really can get in tune with your body soul and really learn that blueprint insights. So Candace, so why was this important for you to work on this topic around embody your soul blueprint?
Wow. It's kind of one of those things of I don't know. I don't know a life waking up every day and not fulfilling this thing. For everyone watching right now, I know that each and every one of you has had some type of calling in your body. And for me, like I'm very aware of my body and it hits me like right here, like literally right here. If I'm not fulfilling that part of me, it's right here. So for me, this is my soul center. And I know that because I've done the work to find my soul center. But this is the place of when you feel fully in tune with your body, fully in aware of your subconscious, aware of your ego, you're not in your doubts, you're in your confidence, and you're in receiving mode. That is your soul center. Okay. Soul center is where you're going to accept all of those downloads, all of those frequencies, all the things. And when I was a nurse, y'all, when I was a nurse, yes, move your body, Juicy. When I was a nurse, for the last 3 years, I'd already been taking on energy clients. I'd been working in the energy field and life coaching before I took a certification. Y'all, please take certification so you know what's up. I would be at my desk. I know. I'm like, if you're going to be a coach, please take a certification. Please do the
Yeah.
things.
Amen.
Yeah, please. That way you truly know how to handle your body and your students. It's so important. Okay, off the soapbox. I know. I'm so glad you and I resonate with that. It's like, yes, okay, but off the soapbox.
Oh my God, it's just speak to my soul, because I'm just to people, please take a certification so you know it, instead of like, and read about it. No, you get to be in a program.
Yeah. You get to learn how to harness your skills and harness your abilities. And yes. And it also gives you an opportunity to remember that you don't know it all.
Exactly. And we are learning together, as you're also giving to your, I believe, to your your tribe, is really getting together, learn for each other, inspire, because we are learning from each other, we're growing, we're winning together, we get to be connected. Because when Candice share around herself, because she can go deep in herself, and that is something I really love about, it's allowed me to really take tune in my body soul and go, okay, what is something I need to look into? So it allowed us to really open our body.
Yeah. In my last few years of nursing, when I was diving into all the entrepreneurial things, I bought a coaching program to like teach me how to be a coach, build a coaching program. It was the biggest investment I made at the time, is like $8,000. Okay. Because it had all the pieces.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop waking up every day so that I could get up, put a podcast on, start writing things in my journal, ideas, post-its, all the things, to get to work, to then put even more podcasts on, to do all the things. So I'm nursing on autopilot. I was a clinical manager at the time. I was on autopilot because my soul was running in the background, going like, we're doing the thing. I couldn't ignore it anymore. I literally couldn't ignore it anymore. And I guarantee that all of you that are hearing this interview, and all the other beautiful speakers that Tanja has, is you can't ignore it anymore. Like, you're waking, even if you have no idea what it looks like, and even if you have resonated with the word numbness in your body or disassociation, I guarantee you actually feel your purpose right now, because you're watching this show. You've watched all the other speakers. You're following Tanja. You feel it. You feel it. You know what's going on. And that is like my big why. That's where it all kind of started aligning up for me. And that was back in 2013. No, 2015, 16, 17, 2017, give or take. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks.
So, I have a question to that. So this soul center, if there was the word for you, can you have two, or is only like one? Because for me, I experience my body, not my body, my stomach definitely is a big, maybe sensitive of like negativity, or if I eat something wrong, like if I choose to be around people that use violence, or if I use the violence myself, my stomach is just like going crazy, because I've like numbed myself, as you also talk about, like numb myself with judgments, or numb myself with relationship, or numb myself with what I'm putting of food in my body. So what I feel is like my stomach and my shoulder is like going back, like I want to fight, because I have this, as you know, big fight for white animals. So I'm like, my body's like going in raw. So there's something like my shoulder is going back, and I can feel it like in my stomach. I don't know if it's two different things, or one thing. I'm just curious.
They're actually two different things. And I love that we're talking about this with embracing our soul blueprint, because you have one soul center, as far as I know, and as far as the knowledge and wisdom that has come to me until this point, I am aware it may not be everybody's truth. Right now, it's what I've experienced. But what I'm hearing you say is you've actually activated one of your other brains. So our body has multiple brains. So team, hear this. Everybody, hear this. Your head, your brain, I know this is going to be the showstopper. The thing between your two ears is the part of your body, the brain of your body, that thinks last. I'm going to say that again. The brain in between your two ears is the brain of your body that thinks and receives and interprets information last. That is a fact.
I get it now. It's like, what?
That is a fact. That is a scientific proven fact. And here's why I'm going to share this with you. This is why I love science, like my science nerd, because I'm a, what do they call, a geek? Like, I'm a science geek, okay?
Love
and
it.
why I love like bridging the gap between science, spirituality, and God, because it's literally three different languages communicating the same thing. Three different languages, same thing being communicated. Okay. So you have an energetic field that exists all around you, in front of you, behind you, above you, below you. This energetic field has these sensors in it. It's like, here's the thing. If you don't speak woo-woo and you walk into a room and you're with someone, you can automatically sense if they're going through something. You can sense if they're super happy. You can sense if you may not even see them. You may not even see them, and you can feel it. Why? Because your energy center is picking up on a thing. It's picking up on something like this. Oh, it's kind of like out there, like fiber optics with the glitter on it, right? That's what it's picking up on. That's literally like you at all times. Okay. So the next piece of the next brain that interprets that is the skin. Your skin is filled with all of these things called nanoceptors and proprioceptors. Nanoreceptors, proprioceptors. They are literally on your skin. That's why when you get like when something really freaking awesome happens and you're like, oh, I'm getting the chills. Like literally, I'm getting the chills. Guess what? Guess why? Because your skin is interpreting a change to the energetic frequency. This is also science. You can also look it up. Next brain, your organs. Your organs have brain channels, like all of those. You have these receptors to pick up information in your body. You have them in your gut, Tanya. So what I'm hearing you say is the brain that works the strongest for you right now is actually coming from your gut.
Oh,
Your
always,
pelvic,
always.
yes. So pelvic floor, uterus for women, okay? Prostate for men, okay? Prostate for men, but we all, men and women, have a pelvic bowl and a pelvic floor. That energetic center, when you like release any tension in the anus and vagina and urethra for men, and you let that out, that brain center will actually start to pick up and receive information. This isn't fake news. This is a real thing because all of these organs and areas have these interpretation cells that are programmed to pick up information from what?
Oh, sorry.
Energy.
Oh,
Why?
energy.
Because what are we all made of? Energy.
Energy. Yeah.
Atoms that are made up of energy. You also have a heart brain. You also have an immune system brain.
Oh.
Okay. So constantly throughout the day, you are communicating like a tree. Trees don't speak, but they communicate with other trees to be like, hey, I need more water. Hey, I need more soil. We're literally like trees. Okay. So the last thing that thinks, our brain, the only function of your brain is to make logical, quote, logical, I put that
Oh.
in air quotes, sense of what it's picking up in your body. When you allow this to be your truth, when you allow this to be your truth, then you can start embodying your blueprint. Then you can start embracing, as I like get ready to like, I'm so passionate, I'm gonna like knock down my I'm knocking the walls down, you guys. Knocking the walls down.
You
So
know, I
then
love it. Just smash something. Just smash it.
yes, yes. So then when you, that's like literally the first step, is allowing yourself to truly believe that as a fact. That's like literal. If there's a step one is awareness of the brains. Step two, knowing that it's fact that they pick up information first. Step three would be a knowing that your brain interprets all this information last and then says, oh, I need to make more of those hormones. Oh, we've been here before. I need to make, and then, but that's also going on in your organs too, y'all. That's also going on. Why do you think when someone passes away, there's still like stuff, like I don't know if y'all know this, but when you're so like when you have transitioned, when things start to shut down, when you're not able, like if a patient is passing away, okay, and they are not able to speak to you, they're not conscious, they're not aware, guess what the last thing to go is?
Energy.
Hearing.
Oh, hearing. Oh,
Till the second you take your last breath, you can hear. Do you know how you hear? You hear through little receptors on the hairs inside of your ear. Guess what you have all over your body? The same hair receptors. And that's a scientific fact. So I just we're all speaking the same language. God is speaking the same language, spirituality and science. It's all speaking it's speaking different languages to communicate the same truth. We are all one body. That is written in is it 1st or 2nd Corinthians? Oh gosh, I don't remember the number. It's about the spiritual gifts. And in the spiritual gifts that are written in the Bible, because we're all spiritually gifted,
Mm.
is we are all of one body.
Mm.
We are all of one body.
We are one planet.
We are all one. We're all communicating the same thing. Okay. I know that was like a lot, so I'm gonna ground myself. I'll keep going. So
One thing I will really love to lean there before we're going into what Candice have to you, because she have some interesting stuff to you guys. That is, when you share about that, it makes so much sense. I have a long time, I've experienced so many times in my life to, when we receive a question for someone, we know the answer. Like on one side, we know what it is yes or no, what we get to choose, what we get to move. We know it like in a whole being, and the nerds is coming on 2 seconds. It's going so fast. If we have said no to do the transformation, if we are in the beginning phase, it's going so fast. And what I have really learned in the past was really take my power of the controlling. There, my controller really have supported me. Is the first thing that comes to her, I was holding so tight on it and say, no matter what, I'm listening to this. There was a very small voice, because most of the time when I hear a voice, it whispering like, or blowing a like a little blow, or come with a fast picture and a fast words. And if I am getting myself or going backwards, like going in the past, or listen to the ego, the voice and the picture or the words is going out so fast, and you cannot remember it. I cannot remember it if I choose to go down on the victim mode, because it's something we choose. It's all of our choice. So when you talk about that, it makes so much sense. Something people are always asking about, like, you cannot trust your gut feeling, or you cannot trust like a picture or a little voice, and say, with that point, I will say no to answer your questions, and we will leave it here. And because I really trust the words, and when I have hold fast in that little voice, gut feeling, like a sense, like something touched me on something, sense of I get something. If I choose to go the other way, one word is there, and I experience so much things. Every time I hold grabbing it, magic was happening, and I move mountains, and I find always the opportunities, always the solutions, and I would never fail in that. So you really talk into what answer I have looked for, and like, what did I do? Like, I was so uncomfortable for me to ask people, like, answer the questions, and most of the time, like, I would say no to answer the questions. So what else questions do I have for me? To really stand up for myself and not going down in that way to explain something. I have no clue what's happening. Sometimes in life we get to say no to answer questions, because it's okay for us to be there, and we have no clue around what is happening in our body. Like, and Candice also talk about, like, really get tuned to your body. There's so many people that's disconnected to our body. That's where we disconnect to nature. That's where we disconnect to spirituality. We will get back to our body, to really get contact with the spirituality, to listen to the voice, to feel what Candice is talking about. We will get to like go in the blueprint in our body to really find who we are, and from there we are getting stronger to listen to the small sounds, to the picture, nature blowing the wind on my cheek, or something happening in my body. So yeah, definitely. So thank you so much, my love. That makes so much sense. What, like, how strong I am to listen to the small senses that is coming. I have a long time make it wrong, and I've lost myself, and maybe also that you experienced in the beginning of the interview was like, I was so disconnected to my past, and there was wild animals, like, to connect people to the higher purpose.
Yeah, I want to real quick, you hit something, right away, like wanting to second guess or question the message that you received or that we receive. Like, I'm not perfect. I do the same. I'm a human because I practice these energetic principles. Like, I get out of balance, I get back in bed, I move through this knowledge. And your soul, like in my language, God gifted my soul a purpose. Whether you believe in God or not, you know that your soul has a purpose. It came here for a reason. So when your soul said, yes, I choose this human body, you're not a human body moving your soul. Your soul is moving your human body, but the matrix is how spirituality says it. How non-woo-woo three-dimensional says it is social programming, modern education hasn't taught us to listen to our bodies or our soul purpose. They've said, go to college, make money, get a job, buy a house, have some kids, and die. Oh, and don't forget to pay your taxes. That's what we are set up. So like our soul is like this.
Yeah.
And the modern education system only teaches you like to do this. So of course we don't know any different. Of course, unless you have parents or you've accessed this at an early age, you don't know any different, and you're still programmed.
So important.
Because it's all around you. But here's the thing about embracing your soul blueprint. Here's the thing is your blueprint, God, the hair that keeps falling in my face. The blueprint is literally embedded inside you. It's not like it doesn't go anywhere. So like, even if you've stuffed it and you've stuffed it and you've stuffed it and you are 150 pounds overweight because your purpose is stuffed inside you, or you've been in depression for the past 3 years, it's the stuffing of the light. Because here's the thing that the soul does. The soul does this. Like if these are the curtains, the soul does this.
The small peaks. Yeah.
It has these small peaks all the time. All the time. You may feel like that. Oh, Candace, that never happens to me. I call bullshit.
True.
It happens. It happens. And perhaps you haven't been willing to see it yet. Okay. And then those little peaks and those little peaks, they're always coming through. They're always coming through. And just like you said, with like hearing the messages, hearing the voices, like if it gets fleeting, it's because what happens? The quote thing that's supposed to make things logical, which is what? The last brain.
Yeah, the ego. Hallelujah for the ego.
Just tries to step in.
Yeah.
You are blueprinted. Every feeling, every message, every vision, every should I go right, even though I've always gone left, that's your soul blueprint talking to you and telling you which way to go. That is your soul. You are blueprint. The word blueprint is like literally a map. Your genes, your genetics was all set in place to carry out a purpose. And the further you get from the purpose, the more all the stuff around you starts to break down. Sure, you can have a ton of money and have the best body, but if you're still removed from your soul purpose, you're still losing sleep. You are in some form of depression, like, oh, I don't really like the friends that I hang out with. I just kind of pretend to like them. There's some breakdown happening somewhere. And it's not bad. It's just a feedback of your three-dimensional world not reflecting your purpose that lies inside you.
Amen. And to this point, Ascenda also, Ascenda, oh my God. Candace, I was like, what? Where's my thoughts going? Candace is also talking about what she also offer in her freebie is also connecting to this, what we talk about, embrace your soul blueprints. And it's so important to be together with a person as Candace that know how to, like they have gone the path before you, because you know what step to take, what emotions, what is coming up. She have a so big understanding for coming to the small peak to break through and feel like every spirituality around her whole body. And that can be you when you choose to be around a person that know how to do the work as Candace is doing, around to connect with your embody your soul blueprints. So really invite you to really go back to your newsletter, click on the link, get the freebie. I will invite you also to send Candace an email. What's coming up, and what was one thing that come up in you in this interview, and give it a. She will love it and really connect with it. So please do it. Put some action on it. And at that point, you also get connected with your own blueprint, and you're listening to the small peaks. You're taking actions through the small peaks. If you choose to take actions after this interview, go to the link, click, send Candice email, you are taking the first step out of your small peak to really learn to embrace your soul blueprint.
Yes. And for anyone out there, a little bit more about that experience is it's 5 meditations. And these meditations are very basic, fundamental principles. So even if you are hella advanced and you speak the exact language I speak, and you're like, Candice, I teach this all the time to my current clients, great. These energetic principles coming back to them are still going to set you up for even more success, for even more connection to your soul blueprint. Because coming back to the beginnings, the fundamentals is so important to just keep reminding yourself of what's true. How do I get to reconnect? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, no, I totally forgot to be doing that. I forgot that, So you don't always know everything.
No.
Going back to the fundamentals is always so necessary. I go back to the fundamentals regularly. So, yes, this is a beginner's guide, and it's also a check-in for anyone who's already created a lot of these experiences in their body.
It's so important, Angeline, that is, you have always something to learn in each person you are stepping into to learn something for. So if you know the step, as Candice talked about, there's always a deeper layer for you to get in contact with your body. When we choose to be a long way for us and choose not be a program and think we know everything, trust me, you're losing information. We get to be around people that remind us about the steps, about how to get in contact with our body. I had some notes there in the beginning, so trust me, I speaking out of information there. So Candice, what is one thing you would love the audience to go with after this interview?
The first step in embracing your blueprint is realizing any resistance that you have around it and not making that resistance bad. Simply learning and asking that resistance, hey, what message do you have for me? And start from there.
Oh, I love that. I love it. So thank you so much, Candice, and thank you so much, love. It was a big blessing, this push to ask you to be a speaker, because I look up to you, and also to have you to really give me some reminder about I get to connect with what God gave me that freaked the hell out of me, to be honest. So thank you so much for reminding me about that, and I get to lean in that and trust that voice. So thank you so much, and thank you so much, audience, for being here and being here listens. And I really wish from my whole being, because I know I'm talking for experience from my own, I hope you go back to the newsletter, click on the link, send Candice, because there you really embody what you have learned. If not, you will lose around 70% of it after a few hours. So really take a step out in the new knowledge you have learned from Candice. So thank you so much, my love, and thank you to you guys, and have an amazing day.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, everyone.